Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to share with you a concept that has the power to transform your life. Imagine for a moment that you have already achieved every goal you've ever dreamed of. Feel it, live it, breathe it. This is not wishful thinking. It's a principle that separates those who achieve greatness from those who only dream about it. Acting as if you are already successful is not pretending. It's aligning your thoughts, actions, and attitude with the person you aim to become. Success is not a distant destination. It begins in the way you think, the way you speak, and the way you carry yourself today. When you act as if you are already successful, your mind begins to adapt. You start making decisions from a place of confidence rather than doubt, from a place of clarity rather than confusion. You begin to attract opportunities, people, and circumstances that are in harmony with success. Many people wait for the perfect moment or external validation to feel successful. But true success comes from within. By embracing the habits, mindset, and actions of a successful person today, you essentially create the future you desire. It's a principle so simple yet so overlooked. When you behave as though you are already successful, you carry yourself with dignity, discipline, and purpose. You set higher standards, not because anyone else expects it, but because you do. You make choices with long-term benefits in mind, not short-term gratification. You begin to notice that doors open, challenges become opportunities, and your confidence becomes contagious. Remember, your life is a mirror of your thoughts and actions. If you act small, timid, or hesitant, life will respond in kind. But if you act with the certainty, discipline, and vision of a successful individual, the world responds accordingly. Success is not just an event. It's a habit, a mindset, and a lifestyle. So start today. Stand tall, think big, speak positively, and move forward as if you have already arrived. The power of acting as if is that it rewires your mind, shapes your behavior, and accelerates the realization of your dreams. Your success is closer than you think. It only requires that first bold step of believing you are worthy of it and acting in accordance with that belief. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine waking up tomorrow and feeling that everything you've ever wanted has already been achieved. Imagine walking through your day with the certainty that you are exactly where you are meant to be, with every decision and every action guided by the confidence of someone who has already succeeded. This is the principle I want to share with you today, acting as if you were already successful. It may seem simple at first glance, but it carries a transformative power that can reshape your life, your mindset, and your future. Success does not arrive by accident, nor does it wait for the perfect timing. It begins with the choices you make in the present moment, the way you think about yourself, and the actions you take before the world even confirms your achievements. When you act as though you are already successful, your mind begins to operate on a higher frequency, a frequency where clarity, confidence, and focus guide every move you make. You begin to make decisions not out of fear or hesitation, but from a place of certainty, knowing that you are capable, worthy, and prepared to meet the challenges that lie ahead. The world often teaches us to wait, to delay, to postpone our sense of accomplishment until we reach some distant goal. Yet the most powerful changes occur when you embody success in your thoughts and behaviors before it manifests in external circumstances. Acting as if is not about pretending. It is about aligning your habits, your attitude, and your focus with the life you desire, treating your goals as inevitable rather than optional. When you carry yourself with the dignity and discipline of a successful person, you begin to notice subtle but profound changes. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach begin to appear. People respond to your energy, your confidence, and your presence in ways that open doors previously closed. Challenges transform into opportunities because a person who believes in their own success sees possibilities where others see obstacles. Every action, every decision, every interaction becomes an investment in the reality you are creating. You begin to set higher standards for yourself, not because anyone else expects it, but because you know your own potential and refuse to settle for anything less. Your focus sharpens, your priorities become clear, and your productivity soars because you are no longer acting from doubt or uncertainty. By thinking, speaking, and moving as if you have already arrived, you cultivate a mindset that attracts results, shapes habits, and builds momentum in ways that waiting or wishing never can. It is in the small, consistent actions that the principle of acting as if takes root. How you start your day, how you approach your work, the way you treat others, and the confidence with which you pursue your goals all signal to your mind and to the world that you are a person of achievement. Over time, these repeated behaviors reinforce the belief that success is not a distant dream but a natural state of being. Acting as if also rewires your perception of setbacks. Challenges no longer discourage you because you face them with the mindset of someone who has already succeeded and knows that obstacles are temporary and manageable. You make decisions based on long-term benefits rather than short-term comfort. understanding that every choice either brings you closer to your goals or moves you away. Confidence becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, and the habits you adopt compound, accelerating the journey toward your dreams. Your life begins to reflect your internal state. If you act small, hesitant, or uncertain, the world mirrors that behavior back to you. But if you act with the clarity, purpose, and certainty of a successful individual, the environment begins to respond in kind. Success is not merely a result to be achieved. It is a mindset, a lifestyle, and a pattern of consistent, focused action. Every conversation you have, every goal you set, every step you take becomes infused with the energy and direction of someone who knows they are destined to achieve greatness. By acting as if, you plant seeds today that will blossom into accomplishments tomorrow. Your thoughts, words, and actions all work in harmony to create a life aligned with your aspirations, and in the process, you become a magnet for the people, ideas, and opportunities that accelerate your journey toward success. The more consistently you embody this principle, the more naturally success flows into your life, because you are no longer waiting for external validation or circumstances to dictate your confidence. You are living it, experiencing it, and creating it in real time. Acting as it bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be, creating momentum that propels you forward with unstoppable energy. Success is not something that merely happens to a person. It is cultivated in the way they think, speak, and act every single day. Too often we wait for circumstances to be perfect, for resources to appear, or for others to recognize our potential before we step into our power. Yet the truth is that waiting for validation keeps us trapped in a cycle of inaction. To move forward, to truly achieve, one must behave as if success is not a distant goal, but a present reality. When you embrace this principle, your mind begins to shift in ways that are both subtle and profound. You start to see opportunities where once there were only obstacles, and your confidence grows because you are no longer dependent on external approval. Acting as if you are already successful is not a hollow gesture. It is a deliberate strategy that aligns your actions with your vision and creates a momentum that propels you toward your dreams. Every small choice you make, every habit you develop, every interaction you engage in becomes a building block of the life you intend to lead. By adopting the mindset of someone who has already achieved their goals, you begin to act with clarity and purpose. Decisions that once felt overwhelming now become manageable because your focus is anchored in certainty. You no longer second-guess yourself or hesitate out of fear. Instead, you move forward with intention and determination. One of the most powerful aspects of this principle is how it transforms your approach to challenges. Obstacles no longer feel like insurmountable barriers, but rather as stepping stones, opportunities to grow, learn, and refine your skills. A person who acts as if they are successful sees difficulties as temporary, manageable, and necessary elements of the journey. They understand that every setback carries a lesson, and that perseverance is an essential ingredient in achieving long-term success. Confidence in this context is not arrogance. It is a quiet certainty that comes from aligning your actions with your ambitions. When you behave as though success is your natural state, you inspire not only yourself but also those around you. People are naturally drawn to individuals who exude purpose, clarity, and a sense of achievement, and in this way your mindset begins to attract opportunities, mentors, and collaborators who can accelerate your progress. Acting as if also requires attention to your daily habits. The successful person invests in their growth consistently, whether it is through learning, networking, or maintaining discipline in their routines. Each deliberate action, no matter how small, compounds over time, building a foundation that can support remarkable accomplishments. Your environment begins to reflect your internal state, and life responds in kind to the energy you project. By cultivating the behaviors, thought patterns, and attitudes of a successful individual, you are effectively programming your mind and your circumstances to support your goals. This approach eliminates procrastination, doubt, and indecision, replacing them with momentum, clarity, and unwavering commitment. Every conversation, every task, every step you take carries the imprint of someone who knows their worth and is determined to achieve their vision. Acting as if is also about cultivating resilience. Life will always present challenges, distractions, and moments of uncertainty. However, when you approach these moments with the mindset of a person who has already succeeded, you respond with calm, confidence, and resourcefulness. You learn to navigate obstacles efficiently, maintain your focus on what truly matters, and keep moving forward even when conditions are not ideal. This principle, simple yet profound, bridges the gap between aspiration and reality. It empowers you to create results in your life not by waiting for conditions to change, but by changing yourself, your mindset, and your actions in ways that naturally generate the success you seek. The more consistently you embody the mindset, habits, and behaviors of a successful person, the faster you accelerate toward your goals, and the more opportunities seem to appear as if drawn by your energy. Every person who has achieved greatness began with a mindset that set them apart from the rest. They did not wait for circumstances to validate their potential. They acted as if their success was already certain. This principle may seem simple, yet it carries a power capable of transforming your life in ways you may not have imagined. When you start behaving as though you have already achieved your goals, your mind begins to operate on a higher level of clarity and focus. Every decision you make becomes guided by purpose. Every action becomes aligned with your vision. And every challenge is approached as an opportunity rather than a roadblock. Acting as if is not pretending or putting on a facade. It is a deliberate practice of thinking, speaking, and moving in harmony with the person you aspire to become. It is about embodying success in every choice, no matter how small, so that your external reality begins to reflect your inner state. One of the most profound effects of this approach is the development of confidence. When you carry yourself with the certainty of someone who has already succeeded, hesitation and self-doubt begin to fade. Confidence is no longer something you hope to find in the future. It becomes a natural byproduct of the actions you take today. As a result, opportunities that once seemed unreachable begin to present themselves, and you start attracting the people, ideas, and circumstances that support your growth. Acting as if also transforms your habits. Success is rarely the result of a single grand action. It is the accumulation of consistent, deliberate choices over time. By adopting the behaviors of a successful person, you cultivate discipline, focus, and persistence. You begin to invest your time and energy in activities that have long-term benefits, while letting go of those that drain your resources without yielding results. Your daily routine starts to mirror the life you desire, and each small action compounds into momentum that propels you forward. Challenges, setbacks, and failures take on a new meaning when you operate from this mindset. Instead of seeing obstacles as insurmountable, you view them as opportunities to learn, grow, and refine your skills. A person who acts as if they are successful approaches adversity with calm resilience and problem-solving, knowing that each difficulty is temporary and manageable. This perspective shifts your energy from worry and fear to creativity and action, making success not only attainable but inevitable. Another key aspect of acting as if is the power of visualization turned into reality. When you see yourself as already successful, your mind begins to recognize patterns, solutions, and pathways that were previously hidden. Your intuition sharpens, and you make decisions that are in alignment with your long-term goals. The energy you project becomes magnetic, drawing support, partnerships, and resources that accelerate your journey. Acting as if also cultivates influence. People respond to those who carry themselves with clarity, confidence, and purpose. Your presence alone begins to inspire trust and admiration, creating an environment where collaboration and opportunity thrive. This principle teaches that success is not merely an event or a result. It is a mindset, a set of habits, and a way of navigating life. By consistently embodying the traits, behaviors, and attitudes of a successful person, you begin to shape both your internal world and your external reality in ways that align with your highest aspirations. You move through each day with intention, clarity, and a sense of inevitability that propels you forward. The small, deliberate actions you take, from how you structure your day to how you communicate with others, all contribute to a momentum that transforms possibility into achievement. When you act as if you are no longer waiting for circumstances to change, instead you are creating your own reality, one action, one choice, and one confident step at a time. And as you continue to operate in this way, your potential begins to expand, your opportunities multiply, and your life starts to reflect the vision you have been cultivating within yourself. The journey to success is not a distant road that you must wait to reach. It is created in every choice you make, every thought you hold, and every action you take today. Too many people postpone their belief in themselves until external circumstances confirm it, but the truth is that success begins within. Acting as if you were already successful is a principle that transforms your mindset, your behavior, and ultimately your reality. When you adopt the habits, attitudes, and behaviors of a successful person, you align yourself with a way of thinking that makes achievement inevitable. This is not about pretending or creating a false image. It is about living with intentionality and purpose as though your goals have already been realized. Confidence, clarity, and focus begin to grow naturally because you are no longer dependent on outside validation. Your mind, body, and actions become harmonized with the life you desire, and every decision you make is guided by the standards of someone who knows their worth and potential. Acting as if also changes the way you approach challenges. Obstacles are no longer feared or avoided, but seen as opportunities to refine your skills, strengthen your resilience, and expand your capacity to succeed. A person who embodies success treats failure as a stepping stone rather than a dead end, understanding that each setback carries invaluable lessons and insights. This perspective turns uncertainty into creativity and hesitation into decisive action. Your daily habits begin to reflect your commitment to growth. Success is rarely accidental. It is the cumulative result of consistent intentional actions. By acting as if, you start to invest your energy in high-value activities, prioritize tasks that bring long-term rewards, and eliminate behaviors that no longer serve your vision. The simple act of structuring your day, maintaining discipline, and pursuing improvement becomes a powerful force that compounds over time, building momentum that carries you steadily toward your goals. Acting as if also sharpens your ability to recognize and seize opportunities. When you operate from a mindset of success, your awareness expands, allowing you to see possibilities that others miss. Your intuition improves, your problem-solving skills strengthen, and your ability to make decisions with confidence grows. The energy you project attracts support, collaboration, and resources because people are naturally drawn to individuals who exude clarity, purpose, and a sense of achievement. This principle also cultivates influence and leadership. By carrying yourself with dignity, confidence, and determination, you inspire those around you. Your presence communicates that you are someone who takes action, embraces challenges, and refuses to settle for mediocrity. Acting as if creates a ripple effect, impacting not only your life, but also the environment and people around you. Every conversation, every interaction, and every choice becomes an expression of your commitment to success. It transforms your mindset from reactive to proactive, from doubt to certainty, and from hesitation to decisive action. The results of this approach compound over time, producing outcomes that align with the vision you hold in your mind. Acting as if bridges the gap between aspiration and reality. It allows you to step into the life you desire by cultivating the thoughts, habits, and actions of a successful individual. You begin to live with a sense of inevitability where challenges are temporary, opportunities are visible, and progress is constant. Your confidence becomes unshakable because it is built on consistent practice, disciplined action, and a mindset that embraces growth, learning, and purpose. The person you are becoming shapes the life you are creating, and by living as if success is your natural state, you accelerate the journey toward your dreams, create momentum that carries you forward, and align every aspect of your life with the reality you envision. Success is not an event that happens overnight. It is a process cultivated through consistent thought, action, and belief. The people who achieve extraordinary results do not wait for the perfect circumstances, the ideal moment, or external recognition to begin living as the person they aspire to be. They act as if they have already succeeded, carrying themselves with the confidence, clarity, and purpose of someone who knows that their goals are within reach. Acting as if is a principle that transforms not only your mindset, but also your habits, your decisions, and the way you navigate every situation. When you begin to think, speak, and act as though success is already your reality, you create a momentum that propels you forward. Your mind starts to operate differently, identifying opportunities where others see obstacles, generating solutions instead of excuses, and guiding your actions with a sense of certainty that reinforces your potential. This approach is not about pretending or creating a false image. It is about embodying the qualities, attitudes, and behaviors of a successful person so that your external world begins to reflect your internal vision. Confidence is one of the first transformations you will notice. By acting as if you are already successful, hesitation fades, fear loses its grip, and self-doubt diminishes. You make decisions based on clarity rather than uncertainty, and you approach challenges with a mindset that sees them as temporary and solvable rather than overwhelming. Each step you take is intentional, measured, and aligned with your long-term goals. Acting as if also reshapes your habits. Success is rarely the product of luck. It is the result of consistent, focused, and deliberate actions compounded over time. When you behave like a successful person, you begin to prioritize high-value activities, eliminate distractions, and invest your energy in pursuits that accelerate your growth. Daily routines become instruments of progress, discipline becomes second nature, and momentum builds with every conscious choice you make. Challenges and setbacks take on new meaning when viewed through this lens. Obstacles are not threats but opportunities to strengthen your resilience, sharpen your skills, and gain insights that move you closer to your objectives. Failure becomes feedback, and perseverance becomes a tool rather than a burden. Acting as if expands your awareness of possibilities. When you operate from a mindset of success, you begin to notice paths and solutions that were invisible before. Your intuition sharpens, your judgment improves, and your ability to make confident, decisive choices grows. This energy attracts people, resources, and opportunities, creating an environment where progress is not only possible but inevitable. Influence is another byproduct of this principle. Individuals who act as if they are successful exude a presence that inspires confidence, trust, and collaboration in others. Their energy motivates those around them, creating relationships and connections that further enhance their growth. Every action, every word, and every thought aligns with the life they are creating, reinforcing a feedback loop that continually elevates their potential. The principle of acting as if is a bridge between aspiration and achievement. It transforms your mindset from reactive to proactive, from hesitant to decisive, and from uncertain to confident. Your life begins to mirror the beliefs and habits you cultivate, and every deliberate choice compounds into progress that moves you steadily toward your vision. By living as if you are already successful, you cultivate resilience, clarity, focus, and momentum. You attract opportunities, influence others, and create habits that support long-term growth. Every small intentional action becomes part of a larger pattern that propels you toward your goals, allowing you to embody success in every moment. Think strategically about your future, and align your energy with the reality you are determined to create. The most powerful force in achieving success is the way you carry yourself before the world even recognizes your achievements. Too many people wait for validation, for results, or for circumstances to shift before they believe in their potential. Yet the truth is that the life you desire begins the moment you act as if it is already yours. When you step into the mindset, habits, and behaviors of a successful individual, you set in motion a process that shapes your reality in remarkable ways. Acting as if is not about illusion or pretense. It is about embodying the qualities of success in your daily life so that your actions, thoughts, and decisions align with the vision you hold. Every person who achieves greatness has understood this principle. They operate from a foundation of confidence and certainty, even when external conditions are far from ideal. When you begin to behave in the same way, your mind starts to adapt, your focus sharpens, and your choices become guided by purpose rather than hesitation. One of the first changes you will notice is in your confidence. Acting as if you have already succeeded diminishes self-doubt, reduces hesitation, and replaces fear with clarity. Decisions become easier because you are acting from a place of certainty, knowing that every step you take is part of the journey toward your goals. Challenges no longer intimidate you. Instead, they become opportunities to refine your skills, strengthen your resilience, and grow into the person capable of achieving the life you envision. Habits also begin to shift naturally when you adopt this mindset. Success is not the result of random chance, but the cumulative effect of consistent, deliberate actions taken over time. By behaving like someone who has already achieved their objectives, you invest your energy in tasks that yield long-term benefits, eliminate distractions that drain your focus, and create routines that reinforce your momentum. Each day becomes a building block toward your ultimate vision, and the compounded effect of these actions propels you steadily forward. Acting as if also enhances your ability to recognize opportunities. When you think and act like a successful person, your awareness expands, and you begin to notice path solutions and possibilities that others overlook. Your intuition becomes sharper, your judgment more precise, and your capacity for strategic decision-making grows. This mindset naturally attracts people, resources, and circumstances that align with your goals, because energy communicates itself and draws what resonates with it. Influence is another remarkable outcome of this principle. When you operate from the certainty and clarity of someone who has already succeeded, others respond. Your presence inspires confidence, your actions create trust, and your energy motivates collaboration. Acting as if not only transforms your own life, but also impacts those around you, creating a network of support and opportunity that accelerates progress. Challenges, setbacks, and moments of uncertainty are no longer reasons to pause or retreat. They are opportunities to demonstrate resilience, to learn, and to move forward with purpose. Acting as if turns obstacles into stepping stones and failure into feedback, reinforcing a mindset that is proactive, confident, and solution-focused. By embracing this principle, you bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be. You align your inner world with your external reality, cultivating the thoughts, habits, and actions of a successful individual so that your life reflects the vision you have been creating in your mind. Each deliberate choice, each consistent effort, and each confident step compounds into momentum, shaping your journey toward achievement. Acting as if allows you to live with a sense of inevitability, where every action, decision, and habit contributes to progress, where opportunities appear in alignment with your energy, and where success becomes a natural consequence of the mindset, discipline, and presence you cultivate